Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And welcome to the first live video in ages. And I really hope we do get some people in this because it's a very exciting time to be a DC fan. Now, Dave Bautista is saying in an interview that James Gunn will reboot the entire DC universe and recast with a younger bunch of actors, which is something, if true, and I'm not convinced that it is true, that we're going to be getting. If we're going to be getting this, I'm not convinced it's true, but if it is true, then call me very, very excited. This is exactly what I want. Ronnie Dodge, hey Mick. Good evening, Ronnie. Ronnie in the UK, long time no speak, long time no live. We're building up to this big announcement coming today or tomorrow. If he makes it today, us in Europe will be in bed. If he makes it tomorrow, us in Europe will probably be in bed. So we probably won't hear anything till Wednesday, but let's see. Very exciting time to be a DC fan, and that's why I'm live. So I repeat, Dave Bautista claiming that James Gunn will reboot the entire DC universe with a younger cast. What do you think about that? John, hey Mick. Hey John. Ronnie Dodge, man, I'm excited. I feel Superman has to be the first movie of the new DCU. Yes, it's going to be very interesting where Superman is placed, considering he said he's been writing this film since he became co-chair of DC Studios. Superman is something I'm very excited about, but his Batman is something I'm very curious about as well. A younger Batman, a younger Superman, Teen Titans maybe. You know, this guy's going to come in and he's hopefully going to do something that celebrates DC. As I keep on saying, I have no wants or needs from this announcement. I don't know what he's going to announce. What I want to do is listen to the man, listen to what he has to say, then get my teeth into what he's actually said. We're all very excited to hear what he has to say. Scott Edwards, what's up? Good evening, Scott. Great to be reunited with all you. I've really missed you. Scott Edwards, when's the announcement? Well, it's looking like it will be tomorrow, Scott, but it could be today, could be tonight. Who knows? You're in America. I'm in Europe. What's the time now here in Europe? It's about 8:30. In Cyprus, it's probably around 6:30, 6:45 over in the UK, and that's as far as I know. Ronnie Dodge, I feel a younger cast will be good as we see these characters develop over time into the heroes we know and love from the comics. Yeah, obviously, they're not going to be children, but they're going to be a lot younger than they have been if this is the way we're going. Now, this is coming from Dave Bautista. He knows James Gunn. But he said he thinks he's going to reboot the entire catalogue. He thinks he's going to recast with younger actors. So we don't know how true all this is. Scott Edwards, I'm hoping for a new Justice League movie. I think you may have to wait for that. Derpy Entertainment, I really don't want to wait until tomorrow because I've been waiting 14 years since Iron Man came out for the MCU. Yeah, listen, I think if you waited that long, another day won't hurt. But yeah, I'm like you. I like opening my Christmas presents prior to Christmas Day. I can't wait. I'm as excited and as on tenterhooks as you are. I wake every morning. I slide down my tablet and I see James Gunn, nothing. Ronnie Dodge, Karen Gillan will join James. Well, he has said he wants his Guardians of the Galaxy cast to join him again, to work in individual projects, whether that's DC or something else. I mean, look, Zoe Saldana, for example, would be a pick for me. She's probably one of the most talented people he's worked with. So I'm happy to see her. But Karen Gillan, of course, as a Doctor Who fan, big fan of Kaz. She's directed a movie of her own as well. Very talented. Scott Edwards, I think Superman and Lois will end with season 3. I agree. The CW era of DC is as dead as a dodo. Ronnie Dodge, Karen could be a good person to play Ivy. Interesting, yeah. I think, obviously, the red hair. I've mentioned Lois Lane before. That would really I don't know, fuck. What was I going to say? Fuck. I think that would really fucking annoy people. Wouldn't annoy me. I think there's potential there. Ronnie Dodd, no, I've read that. Derpy Entertainment, I'm just excited. I really do hope those rumours are true about James basing the DCU of Justice League Unlimited in Young Justice. That would be excellent because they're two of my favourite entries into DC on a screen. John, I think we will only get about 3 projects announced tomorrow. Listen, it's obviously not going to be a 10-year slate. You can't announce a 10-year slate. It isn't possible. But he's going to announce some things. Maybe he won't announce a slate, John. Maybe he's just going to talk about, maybe he'll give us a title for his Superman movie and tell us his plans for Batman. What I have no expectations. The worst thing you can do with this is want this and want that and expect this and expect that. You'll only be disappointed. This has happened to me before as a fan. I just want to take in what the man has to say and then analyse it. Scott Edwards, well, Justice League started off with the league forming so. Scott Edwards, the animated series, well, that's what I want, Scott. I want like that, like a Justice Unlimited or a Justice League animated series where we've got a watchtower and a Hall of Justice brimming with ready cooked Justice League members. That's what I want to see. Ronnie Dodge, James did replay and did say that was his inspiration for the DCEU with Justice League Unlimited. Well, this is one of the things I do like about James. He has knowledge of geek culture. He's read comics. He's grown up watching cartoons. He's going to be making kind of like an Acme, a Looney Tunes kind of thing as well, apparently. So he's into all this stuff. He's a big kid. That's an element I like about him. Scott Edwards, will you watch the Flash final season? I will try and keep up with it unless it bores me. John, it sounds like we are getting a full DC reboot after all. Well, we need to hold our horses. This is what I'm saying. I don't want to get the expectation going. Dave Bautista has said something. Now, obviously, he's good friends with James Gunn. They've been working together recently with Guardians 3. So there's a good chance he knows what he's talking about. But because this is what I want so badly, a full reboot, I don't want to get my hopes up. Please smash the like button if you're happy to see me back live and if you want me to do more lives. Ronnie Judge, he's been reading All-Star Superman, so I expect Superman personality will be from that comics. Now, this is interesting because he's mentioned All-Star Superman on multiple occasions. It doesn't make sense to adapt that film on your first effort because Superman dies, spoiler alert, at the end of that story. So, yes, that's interesting. Derpy Entertainment. James probably going to talk about his Superman film and titles for the other projects for this chapter and phases and the dates for the projects. Yeah, I mean, look, it's difficult to predict because he keeps stuff to himself and there's not many leaks out there, it's difficult to kind of garner what he's going to say. I would assume there'll be some kind of mini slate, some kind of context to what he's doing as well, hopefully. Ronnie Judge, we get the first Flash trailer next weekend at Super Bowl. Yes, I hope it's a 2.5 minute, 3 minute trailer. We really need to see a great trailer for that. I was thinking how exciting it will be to see Michael Shannon back as Zod. Derpy Entertainment, it's just going to be chapter 1. Yeah, whatever that is, whatever he's going to give us, right? I have no idea what he's going to announce, if it's a slate, if it's in phases or chapter phases, same thing, right? Scott Edwards, will the Flash film connect to reboot? It doesn't look like it, but we will see. Ronnie Dodge, apparently it's a 2-minute, 25-second trailer. That's good enough, Ronnie. Thank you for that information. Always, you're always full of information, which is great for me because I didn't know that. John, do you think the rest of the DC project will be announced at Comic-Con? Well, listen, as I say, he's not going to announce 10 years full of content. Now, something else that we've kind of not discussed is he's mentioned one story in cinema, gaming, streaming, animation. There's a chance he'll mention a couple of movies, a couple of games, which will be very exciting, streaming shows, and animation. He'll probably kind of announce a bit of everything for all these platforms that this one story will be spread across. Scott Edwards, Jason Momoa already teasing Aquaman 3 though. Yeah, I don't know. Look what The Rock was saying before James gave him a good slap and sent him on his way. I mean, The Rock was saying he wanted to do Black Adam spin-offs, and look what happened. Don't trust these actors. Why do I care about Aquaman 3 when I ain't even, we haven't, they haven't done a release for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom yet? Derpy Entertainment, Batista did say in the interview, James is going 100% young actors and actresses. That's what he said, yes. But because it's Dave Batista and not James Gunn, I want that. That makes me very excited to hear that. But I'm not going to get excited until it's properly announced. Ronnie Dodge, the Shazam trailer did show a little bit too much. I did catch Wonder Woman very briefly in the trailer. Well, I think they're a little bit desperate to let you know she's in the movie, of course. I know what's going to happen in that movie with Wonder Woman. I know her role at the end of the movie. It will be exciting to see Gal. Has Gal Gadot got a future as Wonder Woman? She's very, very quiet. Derpy Entertainment, Lobo Scott. Lobo, yes, Lobo is something that's been teased quite often. If Lobo is happening, he will be introduced in the Superman movie because he's a Superman villain. Scott Edwards, will Mira be cut from LK? What's LK? LK. I don't know what LK is. Oh, Lost Kingdom. Yeah, I was trying to remember the title of the film, actually. I thought it was. Who knows at this point? At this point in time, it doesn't look like she's going to get cut. She fought very hard not to be cut from the film, so she's clearly got some dirt on them. Derpy Entertainment, Lost Kingdom. Scott Edwards, Lost Kingdom. Ronnie Dodge, Wolfgang Novogratz is the actor who could be the perfect young Superman. He has been rumoured. I've seen some stunning artwork from fans on him as well. I don't know nothing about him, so I can't really say yay or nay. Derpy Entertainment, who knows and who cares? I don't care about Amber Heard. That's the old DCEU. Whatever's happening or not happening with that now, I'm going to enjoy these movies this year, but it's all about the future, isn't it? Of course, I want to see these movies. The DC movies, I think they'll be very, very good movies. I really liked the Shazam second trailer. It looks like a really promising movie. Can't see it making much money, but hopefully I'm wrong about that. But it does look like a cool movie. Scott Edwards, is the cut you saw of Lost Kingdom what we'll see in December? How would I know that, Scott? How would I even know what they've decided to cut? I would very much doubt it. I saw an unfinished movie, so I would very much doubt that will be the case. Ronnie Dodge, I feel the Flash trailer will end with the line, you want to get nuts, let's get nuts. They may do that, yeah, just to hype us up with nostalgia. Scott Edwards, and Mira have a big role in the cut you saw? No. Derpy Entertainment, I agree, but I like Corin Sweat, but as long as Natalia Dyer is Lois, I'm fine with whoever it is as Clark Kent Superman. I don't know her either, but the Derpy, I think, don't get your hopes up on her because it could be absolutely anyone. Derpy Entertainment, Ronnie, I agree. John, what would you like to see in the Flash trailer? Oh, I just want to see loads of Ezra Miller's Flash. I don't care about his behavior in real life anymore. I'm over that. I want to see loads of his Flash. I want to see some emotion. I want to see Supergirl. I want to see Ben Affleck because we know he's in the movie as well. I just want to see lots of different things. I want the story. I want to see Shannon Zod. I want to see the multiverse element. I want to see a bit of everything. I want to be excited. Scott Edwards, 20-25 minutes is a lot of screen time. No, it's not a lot of screen time, my friend. That is not a lot of screen time at all. That's nothing for a film. I mean, that's Perry White in Superman the movie levels, isn't it? But I just want to see that Flash costume in its full glory. Yes, it's a bit of a light show as well, isn't it? So, yeah, we should be able to see that. So can't wait to next weekend to see that trailer. Bring it on. Big year for DC, 4 exciting movies. Let's see if they're relevant for the future. If we listen to what he's saying, Dave Batista, it doesn't look like they are. We'll wait and see. Derpy Entertainment, I want to see Keaton. So do I. John, I want to see Supergirl and Michael Keaton's Batman in the Flash trailer. Ronnie Dodge, as it's been so long since we had the trailers, VFX should be top notch. Yeah, well, the Flash movie is coming this June. So we're in January now. That's not far away. I mean, they're probably always touching up their VFX anyway, but it should look really proficient by now because VFX takes a long time. Scott Edwards, the Marvels trailer dropping at Super Bowl 2, apparently. Oh, wow. That's good for Marvel fans then, isn't it? But that's not what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward for The Flash because that's a huge movie and that's a more exciting movie than the Marvels for me. Scott Edwards, are you excited for Mando Season 3? Yes. Yes, Pedro Pascal is everywhere at the moment. I watched last night's brilliant episode of The Last of Us as well and really enjoyed it. Yes, so I am excited for Mando Season 3. Ronnie Dodge, the Flash trailer will break that weekend. Derpy Entertainment, The Flash and Blue are the only films I'll see for DC this year because the characters haven't been on the screen before, so not care about Shazam or Aquaman. Oh, I'm excited for it all. I don't care if they've been on the screen before or haven't been on the screen before. I want to see these films. They're DC movies, and I'm not going to rob myself of that pleasure of seeing all these DC movies. Derpy Entertainment, Blue Beetle, Scott Edwards. Did you see the Mando episode of Boba Fett? Yes, I did. Look, my issue with what they did, Mando gate crashing the Boba Fett series, I think this is part of the problem with Boba Fett. Boba Fett just doesn't work within his own story and worked a lot better in Mando. Now, I enjoyed the stuff with Mando in Boba Fett, but I felt bad for the character of Boba Fett himself because he literally was being ignored in the episode those episodes. It's a bit of a shame. But I've always said it, Boba Fett isn't a character that can, dominate his own story. It just doesn't work. He's not that interesting. He was never that interesting as far as I'm concerned. I've always been amazed how people always had this obsession with Boba Fett. I wasn't that obsessed with Boba Fett. Scott Edwards, what did you think of the final battle between Cad Bane and Boba? I'm going to confess to you that I didn't watch the finale, so I'm not sure about that. What did you think of it? But I shall watch it on Disney Plus, so I'm up to date. I don't think they're going to do another Boba Fett series, are they? John, I think there's going to be a Fast and the Furious 10 trailer at Super Bowl as well. All right, another trailer. I forgot all about that. Derpy Entertainment, I hate bandwagon Grogu fans, though. Well, I do enjoy Grogu, and, Pedro Pascal is acting with a puppet or a piece of VFX, and he's doing a great job. But I do like the dynamic between Grogu and Mando. I think it's beautiful. Scott Edwards, yeah, definitely want to catch before Mando Season 3. But there is bandwagon for Grogu. Of course there is. There's a bandwagon for everything, especially if you're on social media, and it can get annoying. I do agree. This is Movies TV Mad. We are live. I'm really here. It's truly me. It's not a robot. It is me. And we're getting excited for this huge DC Universe announcement from James Gunn, whatever it's going to be. Scott Edwards, what do you think of Oliver being back in Flash? I'm very excited. I was a big fan of the first 2 seasons of Arrow. In the early days, it was a great franchise. And may I say, in the early days, probably better than the DCEU ever managed. So, yes, I love Stephen as Oliver Queen and Arrow, and I think it's very, very exciting. Derpy Entertainment, I just hate them because they aren't Star Wars fans. They know nothing, and they say they are fans and call them baby. I just let people say their thing. I try not to get annoyed as much as possible. And social media is very annoying because, of course, as Dirty Harry once said, opinions are like a-holes. Everybody's got one. And when you're on when you're on social media, you just have to accept that everyone is going to say their thing. Scott Edwards, you think we'll see other Arrowverse heroes back for the series finale? Maybe. I think that's a way to go. I think you're going to have to wait for any spoilers for that. But it is possible. We don't know about Melissa Benoist and Supergirl. Probably. They may want to kind of have as many of their Justice League members as possible. John, and the Batwoman actress is going to be in Flash final season. I know, not overly excited about her coming back because I never really used to watch her show. But yeah, so anything's possible with these announcements. We could get absolutely anything. But yeah, don't build yourselves up too much. Ronnie Dodge, I feel we will get 3 announcements and the rest at Comic-Con. Yeah, well, listen, I don't know in the next year or so what he's going to announce. You know, he's not going to announce 10 years of stuff, of content. Now, he's going to announce, you know, if he announces like 2 years of Slate, then unlikely he will announce much at Comic-Con. Maybe he's saving some stuff for Comic-Con as well. But I think it's important to people that they know what the heck is going on, because as I've said on many videos, people have just been really confused. And I think his teases have just confused the narrative. Now, he likes teasing people, and that's okay. But there are 4 DC movies this year, and people are, you know, what's going on here? So, but it's looking like a full reboot, but who knows at this stage? Scott Edwards, so you watched all of the Boba Fett except for the finale, correct? Derpy Entertainment, that is likely, Ronnie, at least for the first chapter. Ronnie Dodge, this is chapter 1 for the DCU, so I expect Superman. Well, he is working on Superman, so I suppose it would make sense for Superman to be one of the earlier films. But, again, if I'm a betting man, it's looking to me like Peacemaker. I think it's going to be in this order. Peacemaker, maybe the Checkmate series, which is probably the Amanda Waller series that was announced a year or so ago. I said Peacemaker, Checkmate, then maybe a Deathstroke series as well. Then maybe we'll get into the other movies. Maybe, because the movies are going to take longer to make. So we may not see a Superman movie for 3 years. That's the reality. The reality is that a streaming show is going to take less time to do. And I do think the first thing that's going to be shot is Peacemaker Season 2. And I think that's pretty obvious. 8 people in the chat. If you haven't smashed the like button, show me that you love me. Show me that it's worth my while to do these lives. I promise I won't make any money for you doing it. Ronnie Dodge, I totally forgot there's a Wonder Woman game coming. Oh, yes. Not much has been said about that Wonder Woman game, which is interesting. John, we probably won't get the first DCU movie till 2025. At the very least, that makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, there's no shooting at the moment. There may be no shooting for these movies till the end of the year. So 2025, yes, John, makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So next year, apart from Joker, which I think Joker is coming out next year, I think apart from Joker, I think next year will be dead. I think next year we'll probably see Peacemaker 2 as well. So I think it's going to be a dead year next year for sure. It's just not possible to have a full slate of movies next year. Ronnie Dodge, maybe we might get one of the projects into the end of the year. I think they may start shooting the project at the first few projects at the beginning or the end of this year. Scott Edwards, will you watch Ant-Man 3 in the Marvels? I'm very interested in Ant-Man 3 because I'm very interested in the Kang the Conqueror arc. He's going to be amazing, a multiversal character, many versions of him. I was talking about it on my DC Universe Daily video today. You're literally going to see in the Kang dynasty him stabbing, basically betraying versions of himself. So I think it's a great choice by Kevin to choose Kang, and I'm definitely excited for that movie. Ronnie Dodge could have some casting announcements at Comic-Con. Yes. I think that is realistically the kind of announcements you're going to get. In terms of the content, we're going to have to be patient. You may be able to get some, animated shows or movies next year, maybe. But I think cinematically, we're going to have to be patient. Very exciting. It's a shame these had to come in when I'm 50 years old. Let's hope I see this stuff before I die. I want to see DC being awesome before I get old and I die. Scott Edwards, I think the Marvels will connect to Kang too, but on a lesser level. Ronnie Dodge, DCEU, if they good full reboot is very bad news for MCU. They're used to being on top. Well, I think like phase 4 may not have been the best phases, Ronnie, but he did a lot of setting up. And I think phase 5 and 6 will be excellent and back on song. I don't personally think they're going to be worried about DC, obviously, because they can be successful and we can be successful at the same time. Derpy Entertainment, I hope the Superman film James making is based off the 40s cartoon and the 90s cartoon for the 40s tone, powers reporter aspect for Superman, but the writing of the stories, plot and villains similar to 90s. Yeah, it'll be interesting what kind of direction he goes with Superman, considering he's rejected doing a Superman movie on multiple occasions, but he's hands-on. He's molding the clay of this universe. There's no question about that. Ronnie Dodge, I booked my Ant-Man tickets. Awesome. Scott Edwards, so will you go see MCU films in the theatres? Maybe Ant-Man 3, not the Marvels. The Marvels has had so many reshoots. I think that film could be a bit of a mess. Ronnie Dodge, I hopefully this Jimmy Olsen lasts longer than the last. Scott Edwards, did you hear John Cryer pitched a Legion of Doom series after Crisis on Infinite Earths? I didn't know that. That would have been fun. It looks like Cryer knows his DC, and he's a great Lex Luthor. It's a shame. Derpy Entertainment, Ronnie Lowell. The animator who lost, will you be seeing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Oh, absolutely. I love the Guardians movies. I love the first one. I love the second one, yeah. Although I haven't seen the holiday special yet. John, have you ever met any of the Smallville cast? If so, what were they like? All the Smallville cast members, writers and producers I've ever spoken to have been absolutely lovely and very grateful to fans, yeah. I've met a few of them. Met Alison Mack, by the way. I don't want to say nice girl because of what has come out about her, but I did have a lot of fun talking to Alison. Great personality, and what a shame what happened to her. Scott Edwards, what if the Marvels trailer wins you over? I just wouldn't spend money on the Marvels. It's just... Ronnie Dodge, Guardians 3 looks like it's going to be an emotional ride. You know what? I love Rocket Raccoon, but just to piss off some fans, I hope he kills off Rocket because he's always arguing with fans who don't want him to kill Rocket. So I just think it'll be funny if he kills off Rocket. And I love Rocket. Rocket's the best thing about Guardians as far as I'm concerned. Well, it's good. You're very chatty tonight. Smash that like button. Come on. Smash the like button. So Guardians 3 is the final time James Gunn will be involved with Marvel. He will be working exclusively with Warner Brothers. And that's his deal. Scott Edwards, did you hear the Ashoka villain info? No, I didn't. Why don't you tell me? Ronnie Dodge, if he goes full reboot, I can't wait for the meltdown from certain fans and a certain actor. Well, I want a full reboot. Doesn't mean I don't like the old DCEU. It doesn't mean I don't like the Snyderverse. It just means we need it. We need it. We need it. Everyone knows who follows me. When Cavill was coming back, I still had concerns. And it was a bit weird, him standing there in the Christopher Reeve music, considering how dark his Superman had been before, and them just kind of, in a way, deleting the idea of hope music. It was all very weird, and it just caused more divisive conversations. A full reboot is exactly what I want. It's a shame the DCEU didn't work out, but too many cooks spoil the broth. But listen, whatever he announces, those fans are going to go after him. They're going to keep on going after him. I'm happy with the sell the Snyderverse to Netflix campaign because it stopped the fire James Gunn thing, although it's still trending. But James Gunn isn't going to be fired because he hasn't actually done anything while he's been doing this job to be fired over. Ronnie George, we definitely need it. Them actors can stay with us, but onwards and outwards. Scott Edwards, the villains are supposedly a dark side force user named Balon and his apprentice Shen. They work for Grand Admiral Thrawn and tasked by him with killing Ashoka. Yeah, I think Thrawn's going to be a bit like Thanos. They're going to ease him in gently, but it's all very exciting. I'm excited for the Jon Favreau and Filoni side of Star Wars. I have no interest in the Kathleen Kennedy side. It's an absolute car crash, and I just don't know why they haven't removed her. There must be a stipulation in her damn contract. So that's Scott. Running Dodge, I wonder if Hayden is in this series. Oh, Hayden Christensen. Well, I love Hayden. And again, I didn't like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's a shame for Ewan and Hayden and the whole racism controversy. The whole thing was a mess. It was a badly made show, in my opinion. They let the actors down, and again, as they keep on doing, they let the fans down, the customer that they need, whose money they need. It's nuts. I hope Hayden's involved. I would like Anakin or Darth Vader and Ashoka to be reunited. I don't even know when Ahsoka is set. If it's modern Star Wars, past Star Wars. Ronnie Dodge, have you seen Universal and Spielberg's making a Twister sequel? Yes. Why do I want that? Why does anyone want that? I mean, it may be a good movie, but why? John, at least Jason and Ben are still on good terms with Warner Brothers Discovery. Yeah, I think everyone is in good terms, apart from Henry. But, to be fair, James has said he's looking to give him another role. They've had discussions. Let's see what happens. Scott Edwards, and supposedly Thrawn will command an army of stormtroopers infused with dark magic. Wow. Scott Edwards, will you watch the Boba Fett finale before Mando season 3? Yes, I'm going to have to. March. That's March. I've got a bit of time, haven't I? I'm going to have to, yes. But, yes, I'm very, very, very excited for what's to come. I just want to hear these announcements. I want to be able to have them all in my head. I want to analyze them on a video. I want to go live about them. I want to do both things because I think it's very important that I'm all over this information and I'm so hyped. Let's see what James Gunn can do. There's going to be a lot of chat, a lot of mouth when he makes his announcements. Some people will not like it. Some people will like it. Some people will attack the people who don't like it. And, you know, it's the usual shit, isn't it? Scott Edwards, you think we'll see Luke again in the Mandoverse? Absolutely, yes. John, what are your thoughts on Last of Us Episode 3? Absolutely fantastic. My only complaint about the first 3 episodes, they've been very slow, and we're not getting enough Joel and Ellie. I mean, we got rid of Tess, right? Spoiler alert. So I thought, yeah, we can have loads of Joel and Ellie. But then they did this whole thing, diversion this week with that storyline, which was great and wonderful, and I enjoyed it. But I do want to see this development of the relationship between Joel and Ellie, because when they are in scenes together, they are magnificent. Ronnie Dodge, what's the point? The late Bill passed away. I would only watch it if they bring back Helen Hunt. And without being horrible, she's absolutely destroyed her appearance. So that ain't going to happen. Or maybe it will. Scott Edwards, the sequel trilogy is garbage and not canon. Yeah, you know what? Unfortunately, it is, but I actually think The Force Awakens is okay. The Last Jedi underwhelmed and bored me. Same with The Rise of Skywalker. Look, they bought this property to make money in theatres, and it hasn't worked. They failed, and that's a shame. And the only interest really is on the Favreau and Filoni side of things. It's funny, you never hear Scott being so negative. It's funny when you see it. When you see a positive person being negative. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So it's not looking like we'll get an announcement from James Gunn today, but I know he makes the announcements pretty late on. Scott Edwards, will we see Han and Leia too? How? Ronnie Dodge, Disney owning Star Wars is like United being run by the Glazers. Thank God they're going. Oh yes, let's see who buys them. Let's hope it's not just an investment and someone comes in. Yeah. Disney owning Star Wars has been a flipping disaster. Scott Edwards, I want Sarah Lance back for Flash series finale. You may get that. You may get that. I'm not saying you definitely will, but you may get that. Scott Edwards, will we see Han and Leia in the Mandoverse too? Leia, I don't think we're going to see a digital version of Carrie, and I don't really want to see that. I don't think we'll see Han either. So I just think you know what? Leave it alone. That's how I look at that. Just leave it. You know, Han Solo had a great run and they killed him off because that's what Harrison wanted in The Force Awakens. It was a brutal death. It was very shocking. I wasn't happy when I first heard about it, but it's what Harrison wanted. So I do like The Force Awakens. I just think they should have been a bit more ambitious with their story, but they were trying to go back to A New Hope because people were pissed off over the prequels. Now, I'm a big fan of the prequels, but at the time, the prequels created kind of a divisive conversation, a bit like the DEU did with BVS. Ronnie Dodge, I saw a company delivering Christmas trees to Doctor Who. They're about to shoot his first episode, the Christmas special. Now that is very exciting because it looks like we're going to get Christmas Day episodes again. Not going to hold my breath on that, but fingers crossed it's looking like that's what we're getting. Scott Edwards, what do you think of Colbait Blue being the final villain of The Flash? I can't really venture an opinion because I've never heard of that villain. Hopefully, it works out for the fans who are invested in it. 9 seasons is probably about 7 seasons too long. Ronnie Dodge, what do you think of Shooty? What do I think for Shooty's look for the Doctor? Yeah, he looks very flash. He looks very expensive. Those clothes look very, very fashionable. Very kind of, I suppose, similar to what David used to wear, a suit. So it's very flashy. He looks very cool. He looks like he's walking on a catwalk. I'm not sure if I like the cool flash look, but let's see how we get on with it. I kind of liked what Matt Smith wore because it wasn't fashionable and it was very Doctor-like. What Tom Baker wore wasn't, you know, like fashionable. It was a bit dowdy. It was a bit old-fashioned, but it was cool because that's the kind of stuff I imagine the Doctor to wear. But Shooty looks very good. Shooty's a very talented actor. Should be a great Doctor. Let's see what Russell's going to do with him. He's been speaking about Doctor Who spin-offs as well. So spin-offs are happening whether people want them to or not. What kind of spin-offs we'll get, I don't know. And of course, we've got Millie Gibson as the companion, Ruby Sunday. Well, that's what Russell is saying she's called. Scott Edwards, but I want to see Ashoka meet Han and Leia too. Surely she did at some point. I don't see how. I don't see how she met them. Ronnie Josh, FA Cup draw happening right now. Well, keep me informed, Ronnie. Let me know who we've got next. Surely it's a big club because we're really ducking big draws in the League Cup, in the FA Cup. Surely we can't be lucky again with the draw. Let's see. Let me know what happens, Ronnie. Very interested. Big Manchester United fan. If there's any soccer fans here. It's on the One show, right. Keep watching, Ronnie. Let me know. It's a funny place to have it on, but there you go. Why is 007? Who cast for Superman DCU? No idea. Nobody knows yet. Scott, we're not going to know in this announcement either. Scott Edwards, are you going to watch the Flash and Batwoman crossover arc? Maybe. It's not something I'm overly excited about. You know, I want to see the Flash and Green Arrow together because that's hardcore peak nostalgia. But Batwoman and the Flash, that does nothing for me. I don't know who asked for that. I don't know. Don't get it. Don't get it. There's so many other characters I would have liked Barry to cross over with, apart from Batwoman, so I don't really get that. The animator who laughs. What future DC movie do you think James Gunn should direct? Well, this is interesting because we don't even know if he's going to direct Superman. He doesn't know if he's going to direct Superman, or that's what he said. He probably does know. What DC movie do you think James Gunn should direct? Well, clearly, if he's going to do a Suicide Squad sequel, if he's going to do a Deathstroke movie, maybe that would be a good thing for him to do. But I think James will direct quite a few of these movies and projects and TV shows. He's going to be very, very hands-on. So, yeah, I think there's a great many ones. I think one that he would do really well with would be a Green Lantern movie. So he could direct a Green Lantern movie. I'd like to see him do that. Where's 007? My fan cast is for Superman Wolfgang Noelgritz as Superman. Yeah, don't know much about him. I don't know anything about him. But as I said earlier, there's some great fan art of him. He looks really good. But I don't know nothing about him. He looks like Superman, that's for sure. Edwards, will see Luke and Ashoka fight Thrawn together, I hope. That would be awesome. Although, yeah, they'll use the CGI Luke, won't they? Which I don't really like. I don't think it looks good, personally. It's great to have him back. Was 007 did think Scott Adkins would choice for Batman or Deathstroke? The Legend CJ just came in. Hello, InMix. So is it confirmed everything will be rebooted? No, it is not rebooted. One of the Guardians of the Galaxy actors believes James Gunn will reboot with a younger cast. We don't know for sure. We won't know till James makes his announcements either later today or tomorrow. Tomorrow is last chance saloons for James Gunn to make his announcement. And I think the fandom will go absolutely ballistic if he doesn't. So nice to see you in the live chat, the Legend CJ. One of the regulars when I used to go live every evening. But I think maybe it's looking like tomorrow for these announcements. Where's 007 want an older Batman? Well, we've already had one in Ben Affleck. Who knows? Who knows? Could be a young Batman. I don't know because, I mean, in a way, we've got a younger Batman with Robert Pattinson. I don't know what he's planning. That could go either way, couldn't it? It depends what he's thinking. Ronnie George, Manchester United versus Derby or West Ham. Well, I prefer Derby. Oh, we're going to get Moyes, aren't we? Well, fingers crossed. That's going to be a difficult one. Although it's at Old Trafford, right? If it's at Old Trafford, we'd hope. Although West Ham have beaten us at Old Trafford in an FA Cup game before, so anything's possible. Well, where's 007? We need Robin DCU. I think we will definitely get a Robin this time. Definitely. I think with James Gunn about, those things are going to happen. Ronnie George, yes, yeah, it's at home. Good news. A home tie in the FA Cup, as Fergie said, and you've always got a chance. Yes. So, well done. Thank you for that, Ronnie. The Legend CJ, do you think Gunn will later down the line adapt the actual death of Superman from the comics, or there's no point since Superman has already died on the big screen? Maybe one day at the end of the 10-year plan. I don't know. It's kind of been ruined, hasn't it? I've said before, even though I like BVS, he took the Dark Knight Returns and Death of Superman and squeezed them in BVS, elements of them. And it was the wrong thing to do. You want those graphic novels adapted properly. So I hope in the future that's possible that it could happen. Was 007 did think James Gunn will direct Green Arrow? That would be a good one. Yeah, I'd love to see him direct the Green Arrow movie. I think we will get a Green Arrow series or movie, maybe animation. Some of these things will be animated. I expect him to announce a couple of DC games as well, because it's all part of his one story arc he was talking about when he first came in. So expect some DC games, animation, streaming, and films announced. Probably one of each, maybe. Who knows? Yeah, we're definitely not going to get very much. Ronnie Dodge, I mean, West Ham are bottom of the league. Yeah, where were Wimbledon when Liverpool beat them 1-0 in the FA Cup final? You know, it doesn't matter, does it? The legend CJ, who is your starting 7 for this new Justice League? Who would you add and who would you drop? Right, so obviously you need Superman and Batman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, definitely Green Lantern, and I'm going to lose count, so I might go on a bit. So I'm not counting, by the way. Definitely Green Lantern. For me, you just need a full to the brim Watchtower and Hall of Justice of all the members, like they did in animation. Bit more difficult to do it in live action, but if you're talking about top 7, yeah, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, definitely Green Lantern. You can have a couple of lanterns in there as well, as far as I'm concerned. Cyborg, yeah, maybe you could keep Cyborg in there. But then you need some lesser ones. Supergirl. I'd like to see Supergirl in the Justice League as well. I mean, look, it's the Justice League thing's going to be interesting. We could go a younger Justice League. We could go Young Justice, so that'd be interesting. Maybe we're getting Aqualad in the new DC universe, and that's how Mama will stay as Aquaman. You never know. Was 007, do you think Ted Cole, Blue Beetle and Booster Gold will be in DCU? Interesting question. Does the Blue Beetle we see this summer stay in this universe? Looks like it. Who knows? The animator who lost, Martian Manhunter. Yes, Martian Manhunter, definitely. Definitely need Martian Manhunter. Forgot all about him. He was brilliant in the animation. Ronnie George, Spurs have Wrexham or Sheffield United. So easy. Where's 007? Here my list. Batman, Superman, The Flash and Wonder Woman and Green Arrow. Green Arrow would be good because he's an ordinary guy. So you need to mix it up with the superheroes and like the gritty real world heroes as well. Yeah, you need a bit of a mix for sure. I think there'll be more than 7 members in his Justice League. I don't think this is going to... I mean, he's spoken about Superman just starting out, right? John, do you think WBD is going to go with the cheaper option for the new DC projects? Nope. I think they'll... I mean, look, Hamada's movies were pretty cheap. A lot of them were really cheap. No, maybe not overly expensive, but I don't think they'll go really bargain basement cheap. I don't think you'll be able to tell that they're cheaply made films. No. The Legend CJ, they should adapt Justice League Crisis onto it and introduce the Crime Syndicate. That would be a lot of fun. That was brilliant in animation. Things are always easier to do in animation, though. So we will see. Yeah, there's an option. There's so many options that he can do. That's the thing. You can pull about 1,000 things out you'd like to see, and he can pull out another 1,000 things that he'd like to see. So it's difficult, and I want to wait and see what he says, and then we'll see where we're going. But Crisis on Two Earths would be a lot of fun. I think there is going to be a multiversal element to the brand new DC Universe timeline, for sure. Waz 007 here, fan cast Wolfgang Novrogitz as Superman, Jensen Ackles as Scott Adkins as Batman, Alexandra Daddario as Wonder Woman, Ben Hardy as The Flash. Ben Hardy. Don't know who that is. Ben Hardy as The Flash. Liam Hemsworth as Aquaman. No way. Not Hemsworth. Not for me. Not for me. Obviously respect your opinion, but yeah, not for me. Ronnie Dodge, I'm going to go, mate. Any news drop, I'll let you know, mate. Okay, thank you, Ronnie. See you soon. Thank you for coming in. The Legend CJ, if you were a higher up at Warner Brothers, how would you get the disengaged DC audience to come back, or general audience? Easy. Make good shit. Make stuff that attracts them. You know, make it exciting. Make it vibrant. Make it younger. You know, don't, you know, lighten things up a bit, you know, but make it compelling at the same time. If you make good shit, people will come. John, did you ever play the GoldenEye video game? Yeah, it's coming back, isn't it? Brilliant game. I also used to like the Living Daylights one with when the guy throws the milk bottles. So cool. Waz 007, Henry Cavill needs to be next James Bond. I don't think it's going to happen. He will probably be an awesome James Bond. I just have my doubts it's going to happen. Poor Henry, that's all I'm going to say. But we don't know what he's like to work with. So, I mean, it will be absolutely insane if he reboots the whole thing. I mean, I've always doubted that. Considering he's doing Peacemaker, how can he be rebooting the whole thing? It simply doesn't make sense. The Legend CJ, what type of Superman do you think that this DCEU will be like? He will be young, he will be hopeful, just starting out on his journey, but not an origin story. And yet, just a Superman that inspires people, the Superman you've read in the comics, the Superman from the animated series, the Superman from the Justice League, the Superman from the animated movies, that type of Superman. Just, you know, he may kind of try and give him a bit more of a personality, but I think that's the kind of Superman you're going to get. A Superman that the audience can embrace. Because it isn't as hard as people say it is to make Superman relatable. You just have to be clever. So he will be nothing like Henry Cavill's Superman. The Legend CJ, if he explains that Flashpoint reboots everything, then that will make more sense and it will fit. That was the original plan. I don't know if he's even going to use this year's movies as a starting off point, or he's just going to start off with his own stuff. I'm not sure if he's going to use the Flash movie. I have my doubts. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Maybe he'll just start again with no narrative explanation. But I would like a full reboot with a younger cast. I do think that's the best way to go and the healthier. You know, and I love the Snyderverse and some other of the films. But we have to be honest, it didn't work, did it? It didn't work. Waz 007, did you know George Miller was direct unmade Justice League in 2009 but never got made? Yes, I know all about George Miller's Justice League. Big shame it never got made because George Miller is a great director, of course, and that was another of a multitude of missed opportunities for DC and WB, and that's a shame, isn't it? But I do know about that, yes. The Legend CJ, this new Superman movie has to make $1 billion. It has to be successful. People have to like it. And yeah, that would be around the kind of money they would want to make. It has to be competitive. It has to be something that the general audience go, as well as the fans, the diehards, this is what Superman is. So yeah, Superman has everything in his locker to make $1 billion. Man of Steel would have made $1 billion if it wasn't for the neck snapping incident in the movie. That killed the rewatch. Superman is Superman, and people want their Superman a certain way. And when you say I'm gonna create a realistic Superman, oh Superman, I'm gonna make Superman relatable, but it means you don't really believe in Superman. Superman isn't Gladiator, Superman isn't the Punisher, So it's as simple as that. But yes, all these movies have to be successful in these projects, and he's the right guy to get people excited. But he has to do the work, and he's there to do. He's taken on a big responsibility. It is difficult, but I do believe he knows what he's doing. The animator who lost. Do you think it's too soon to do Justice League in Phase 1? Yes, I think it would. I would be very, very surprised if he went with a Justice League in Phase 1, unless Zaslav is rushing him to do that. But I don't think that would be a good idea. Now, when did they do? Did they do an Avengers in Phase 1 of the MCU? I can't remember. But, obviously, are the memories of the Justice League, both the Justice League movies, too recent? Maybe they should leave that. Maybe they should do something else. That's the team. I don't know. Abraham Herrera, evening Mick. Good evening, Abraham. Good to have you on the channel and the chat. Waz 007, what's the Batman DCU? Batman will be a part of the DC universe, for sure. James has spoken about that already. He's going to play a big role in the DC universe. James has confirmed that as well. So, yes. So all we have to do now is wait for the announcements from James Gunn and see what he's going to give us and how much of what he's going to give us, and if it will clarify the situation. The Legend CJ, I remember seeing Man of Steel and watching him kill Zod. I was shocked. No other version would do that. Seeing the animated Superman growing up, I was sad when I saw that. I mean, when I first saw it, it didn't trigger me. But it obviously triggered a hell of a lot of people and split the audiences and stopped many people coming back to watch it. You can't take your child, right? When I was a child, a very young child, I saw Superman the movie at home. There's no way my parents would have allowed me to watch a superhero snap somebody's neck. Abraham Herrera, how much longer to the announcement? Maybe later today, more than likely tomorrow. Tomorrow at the latest, Abraham. Waz 007, I like Man of Steel. So do I, but the neck snapping incident is an issue. The Legend CJ, we need a Batman in his prime. We've never had that. I'm tired of a young and an old Batman. Yeah, I think a Batman in his prime will be pretty awesome. Again, see what James does with that. Yeah, I don't think he'll be ever so young. I think maybe in his prime. But I want to live his adventures with him. The problem with Batfleck is most of the good stuff he'd already done off screen. Robin dying off screen. I don't like that. I want to see this stuff. I don't want to be told, oh, by the way, Dick Grayson got murdered. And it's supposed to be Jason Todd, and Zach decided it was Dick Grayson. Try and make sense of that. And you wonder why people were annoyed. No one, if they're being honest, wants to be told, oh yeah, this iconic moment when Robin gets murdered by the Joker, you can't ever see it. No, you can't do that. Lots of mistakes were made. I mean, and I love BVS. I love the Snyder Cut. I love Man of Steel. But mistakes were made. It doesn't matter how much you love Zack and how much you love his stuff. That can't be denied. Abraham Herrera, I think they won't reveal too much to let the movies come out this year, have their day in the sun. John, did you ever see the movie The Fly? One of the best movies ever made, John. Yes, I did. Well, I think he's going to announce a little bit of the movies, a little bit of the animation, a little bit of the gaming, and a little bit of the streaming. Just a little bit of everything, maybe even one of each. So you're right, he's not going to reveal, he's already said he's only going to reveal a little bit. So we know that, we're aware of that. The Legend CJ, is it true Snyder got his inspiration from Injustice? Yes, I think he did. The Nightmare Future is literally Injustice, really, isn't it? He should have just adapted Injustice in the first place. The Fly is a brilliant film. The older movies, the older TV shows are the best. John, I did not enjoy the Fly sequel. That film shouldn't have had a sequel. I don't think Goldblum was in it, though, was he? And it wasn't directed by David Cronenberg, was it? So that tells you everything. But we're going to have a live to react to the big announcements from James Gunn. Don't expect too much. Don't say you want this and want that. Just let it happen and take it in. But yeah, we're going to be all over those announcements because incredibly important, as a DC fan for the channel, everything. To be able to get you guys in and discuss what he announces and to see what you're thinking, see what I'm thinking. And I've got an open mind. I'm at the stage now where I have an open mind. This is where we are now. This is where we are. He's capable of creating something great. He was part of the MCU. He understands that he can't just shave against the grain, that he's got to give the audience a celebration of DC. That's what the MCU was in the early days. So we need this. We need to be able to have children and their families sitting in cinemas watching stuff, and fans and nerds. Where's 007? I hope to see Bat Family in DCU. Yes, absolutely. These are things I believe that slowly but surely James will bring in. Scott Edwards, do you think we'll get a Justice League movie announcement? Absolutely not. And I could actually look pretty stupid, but I don't think so, no. It's far too early for Justice League, but maybe Phase 1 will finish with a Justice League movie. That would kind of make sense. But I think what happened with Justice League has tarnished my idea of a Justice League movie. But yeah, I mean, sooner or later, we're going to get a Justice League movie. Might be at the end of Phase 1. We'll have to wait and see. Chapter 1, end of Chapter 1 will be a good place for a Justice League movie. I'm just not sure if he's there, or if he's going to take his time. But it's a one-story arc. Don't forget that. It's a one-story arc. And it's going to be across movies, streaming, gaming, and animation. A very ambitious idea. Scott Edwards, we just need clarification with what's connected to the universe and what's not. Absolutely. We need to know if DC Universe has anything to do with the DC Extended Universe. What's connected, what's not connected. Yes. I'm not sure if this announcement will be the place where he does it. Abraham Herrera, James Gunn will do a proper job, there's no doubt, but the damage to the brand has been done. His movies will have to be huge hits for him to come out of this unscathed. Yeah, he's under pressure. It's his stamp that's on it. He's molding the clay on this, Abraham. And absolutely, he has to be successful. But a certain side of the fandom will always be coming after him, no matter how bad or how good that he does. And I'm going to close my ears to that. Where's 007? Have seen Nightwing web series fan film. Never seen that. No. Scott Edwards. Gal could continue as Diana. She could do. Scott Edwards. Will Mira have action sequences in Aquaman and Lost Kingdom? Not really, not really. A little one, but not much of one. Why is 007? Do no remake Turkish Superman and Bollywood remake Superman? No. Never heard of that. Never heard of them. I think they need to get the American Superman right. Scott Edwards hoping she'll at least be involved in the final battle. I wouldn't hold your hopes up much for Mira, mate. Best just to read her in the comics if you want that kind of thing. This is an Aquaman and an Orm movie. That's what it is. They're the focus of this film. And Black Manta. They're the focus. Not Mira. Scott Edwards, does Atlanta have a big role? Atlantis, yes, it will have a role to play in the film. Of course it does. Can't have an Aquaman movie with Atlantis, but yes, interesting. Interesting the role that it will have. Why is 007 Turkish Superman made 1984, Bollywood Superman made 1987? Yeah, never seen either, I must admit. I'll check them out, but I haven't seen them up to this point. Kyle Williams, I think I read on Twitter that journalists are arriving at WC Studios with a big announcement from James Gunn. Really? There's actually going to be journalists there? Wow. I suppose that makes sense. It's a press conference, if that's true. Scott Edwards, Queen Atlanta, Queen Atlanta's involved, but I'm not going to tell you how much. That's it. I'm not telling you anything else. Nicole Kidman you're talking about. Yep. Dolph Lundgren, Nicole Kidman. So it looks like we could be getting an announcement very, very shortly. So when I come off this live video, I shall go on Twitter and we'll see if we do get an announcement, I'll be back live, which will be very, very exciting. It could be a very long night because here in Europe, here in Cyprus, it is 9:45 at night. In America, it's daytime. In America right now, it's afternoon, I think, depending on what kind of time period you're in. If you are in America right now, tell us what time it is. Right here in Cyprus, though, it's 9:45. In the UK, it's 7:45. So born and bred in the UK, that's why I talk about the UK as well as Cyprus, because that's where I'm from. But I live here in Cyprus, so Scott Edwards, I imagine we'll get a trailer for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom at San Diego Comic-Con. That would make sense, I suppose. Scott Edwards, Lost Kingdom is my most anticipated DC film of the year because I love the first film so much. The first film was outstanding. Outstanding. So, yeah, I'm excited for that film as well. I think that film will be great. A story from Jason Momoa. What could possibly go wrong? But yeah, I think it's wonderful. The first Aquaman film is great. That's why it's the most successful DCEU movie. I know that's hard for some people to handle, but that's the fact. Scott Edwards, the first film was like lightning in a bottle. Great action and beautiful romance and story. Yeah, It was amazing, everything it was. And considering that was the film that came after Justice League and it was so good and it did so well, that was an amazing situation. It was a great movie, brilliant movie. I kind of enjoyed Black Adam as well. I just think people weren't that interested in a Black Adam movie. He's literally just Shazam's villain. People didn't want that. But I think it's a good movie. I think it's good. You have a good time in the cinema with it. But Aquaman, yeah, it's a very, very, it's one of the best DC movies for sure. I think that James Gunn will go down the Aqualad route though, for sure. And Aqualad, well, Aqualad is Aquaman's son, right? Yeah? Right? Abraham Herrera, low-key this year will be a big year for movies in general. Fast X and The Flash, Aquaman, Shazam, Transformers, and many more. The pandemic is over and we're back to normal. Yes, it's very, very exciting. So, you see what I'm excited for. I'm excited for all 4 DC movies. I forgot there was a Transformers movie. Let's see how that goes. Because we haven't really had a Transformers movie since, Michael Bay left the franchise, apart from Bumblebee. The animator who laughs, Aqualad is Black Manta's son. Right, sorry. So maybe Black Manta was giving Mira one. So who's the mother? Who's the mother then? Who is Aqualad? Thanks for that, actually, animator who laughs, because I always get confused with that. Scott Edwards, would you tell me to go into with a lowered expectation? No. It's a good film. It's a very good film. If you are invested in the dynamic between Orm and Arthur, then you'll be very, very pleased. If you want to see them, in extensive scenes together, then I wouldn't lower my expectations. No. It's as stunning as the first film. It's as ambitious as the first film, but it's just different. The story is different. Why7? Do you think Jason might play Lobo? Well, that's what they've been hinting. I think if he does, we'll see him in the Superman movie. Abraham Herrera, James Wan is a great director. He hasn't made a bad film yet. No, James Wan is on another level. Fucking great. He nearly didn't make the sequel. I don't even think at the moment, he's got an intention of making a 3rd movie. But I would think that James Wan is someone that James Gunn desperately wants to keep on board. And don't be surprised if James Wan directs the Superman movie. Scott Edwards, is Shazam 2 better than 1? It's darker than 1. It challenges Aquaman in a more deeper way. Not Aquaman, Shazam. I wouldn't say it's better. It's different. It's more challenging for Shazam. It focuses on, him having the responsibility of the Shazam family. This is Shazam's sequel. Just a bit darker. Obviously, there's more at stake, which I like. There's more stakes in the movie. Whether it's better or worse, I don't really know. But just to be clear, Scott, I haven't seen Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods. I haven't seen Shazam Fury of the Gods. I've just read or saw a video that spoilt the movie. And I actually talked about it on a very old video here on my channel. So I haven't seen a test screening of Shazam Fury of the Gods, just to be clear. So there's no misunderstandings. But I pretty much know where that movie's going. But it's entertaining from what I can see. And I think people will be pleased with it. There's no reason. One of the things I'm excited about is to see the Wizard Shazam in so many more scenes in the movie. Scott Edwards, I read a plot link for Lost Kingdom, so I'm kind of spoiled already, Lowell. Have you? Well, don't spoil it on here, but yeah. Abraham Herrera, if James Wan directs the Superman movie, that would increase my excitement tenfold. Yeah, because he's basically a director who doesn't need to write. He doesn't need in on the narrative of the film. But you would want James Wan to direct as many. He's one of my favorite directors. and him and Walter Hamada worked really well during the production of Aquaman because Walter came in to kind of fix this thing. And they made a great film. It's the first film with Walter Hamada's name on it as well. And people don't like to give Walter Hamada credit for that film, but his name is on it. Was 007, I hope DCU, the Question TV show, or film for DCU, the Question. A character I think James would do great with. I love the Question. And that's a good one. That's a good one. Scott Edwards, who all do you want in the Flash series finale? The blonde reverse Flash. Not the other one, but the proper Fawn. Fawn, or however you say his name, right? The blonde guy, the blonde one. That would be cool. But anything really, anything that's done well. But I think they're going down another Flashpoint scenario in the season premiere, which I know a lot about, by the way. The season premiere of Flash Season 9 will see a lot of screen time between Iris and the Flash, but not the Iris and the Flash, not Iris and Barry, that you think it's going to be. Was 007, Brad Bird can direct Superman reboot. Yes, he's another very, very good director. But James Wan, he's there. Perfect. Perfect. Because I want to see Superman flying gloriously. I haven't seen Superman fly gloriously since Superman the movie. Scott Edwards, Black Lightning and White Canary are must-haves. Well, certainly in DC Universe, I would like to see Black Lightning. But yeah, Black Lightning turning up in the Flash finale would be great. And his series was awesome. Probably one of the better series that stayed kind of consistent as well. So, someone told me earlier on here that the press are at WB for a press conference. I hope that's true. I hope that's going to be exciting. Scott Edwards, Ashoka will probably be 8 episodes if I have to guess. Yeah, sounds about right. Was 007, who your favourite Superman actor? Well, I have to say Christopher Reeve. He was my first. I wouldn't have fallen in love with Superman without Christopher Reeve. So Christopher Reeve is definitely my favourite. I like Henry Cavill. I think Tom Welling was brilliant. I think they've all been good. I think the Superboy series was pretty cool as well. But yeah, Christopher Reeve is my number one. I don't think anyone's done it better than Christopher Reeve. No one's flown better, that's for sure, than Christopher Reeve. Where's 007, your favorite Batman actor? I'm going to sit on the fence and say this. My favorite Bruce Wayne is Christian Bale in Batman Begins. My favorite Batman is probably Ben Affleck. But I did like Robert Pattinson as well. Abraham Herrera, I know it's wishful thinking, but James Cameron working for DC would be amazing. He tends to make his own ideas into movies, so there is no chance of that happening. Well, Jim's going to be very, very busy with his own franchise, so that's unlikely, but I'd like to see that, yes. Was 007, my favourite Dean Cain and Henry Cavill. I never, respect to your choices, but I've never been a Dean Cain man. Would you think Thrawn can beat Ashoka in hand-to-hand combat? Very equal fight. Let's put it that way. He's a brilliant villain. And yeah, that's going to be difficult for Ahsoka. How funny. My email, over an hour later, decided to email me that I'm live on YouTube. Don't you love technology? Favorite Batman, why is 007? My favorite Batman, Michael and Ben Affleck. Yeah, Michael Keaton's also a very good Batman. So is Val Kilmer. George Clooney, not so much, but not George's fault, really. He's just not Batman. Why is 007? My favorite Bruce Wayne is George. Wow. Scott Edwards, I think Lars Mikkelsen is playing Thrawn, even though he's denied it. Who's Lars Mikkelsen then? Is That's not the Bond villain you're talking. That's not the guy. He's not the one who played Hannibal, is he? Lars Mikkelsen. Abraham Moret, Christopher Reeve had a charm and hard to find today. We shouldn't expect that from you, Superman, but hopefully it comes close. Yeah, look, Christopher Reeve is the ghost that's going to be haunting every actor, and Dick Donner will be every ghost, haunting every Superman director as he continues to do it. One of the best things about Christopher Reeve's Superman is his heart, his soul. You looked into that man's eyes and you believed he was a good man, and he inspired you as a kid. That's exactly who Superman is. Now, it shouldn't be that difficult to pull off, but it is. So you have to, I believe you have to believe in Superman to make good Superman. Dick Donner believed in the myth. Superman's a myth, not a reality. And when you try and make him a reality, this is when you get into problems. Waz007, you're subscribed. Thank you. I appreciate it. Waz007, who's Sia's new Bond actor? I think the new James Bond will be a minority actor, either an actor of colour, Indian, Asian, maybe. I think that's the way they're going to go. I don't know who you cast in those inclusive circles, but I think that's the direction they're going to go in. Be very surprised if they cast a white male as James Bond, but we'll wait and see. Scott Edwards, he's mad, Mikkelsen. That's it, brother. Oh, well, hopefully talent runs in the family, because I absolutely freaking well love Mads. Everything Mads does is excellent, and Mads never changes his accent, but he doesn't have to. Mad. Is that why every one of his characters is mad? Apart from in Rogue One. Yes, we've had a good little chat tonight, haven't we? Abraham Harrah, the Joker 2 comes out next year, right? Apparently, yes, it's coming out next year. They're actually working on it right now, so that makes sense. And Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn has started shooting her scenes. I'm really looking forward to that one. Scott Edwards, what would you tell me to expect and not expect going into Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom with no spoilers? Great visuals, compelling action, as good, even better than the first movie, emotional, good commentary. Yes, that kind of thing. Waz007, I am British Asian, might cast James Bond lol. Yeah, you never know. You may be the next James Bond. But yeah, I think that's what we're looking at. And I think it'll be controversial because some people believe James Bond should be a white male. I don't know what to think anymore in these situations because you just get yourself into trouble, don't you? I think the best thing you to do, don't worry about the colour of the person's skin or the nationality. Get the best actor who fits the role. And that can be anyone. But we do live in divisive times, I'm afraid, and every decision that's made these days is controversial. Even if it's not controversial, I don't think it was controversial to cast a female Doctor Who, because the Doctor can regenerate into anyone, right? I don't think that was the issue. The issue was that that era of Doctor Who just wasn't creatively that good, interesting, or exciting. Actually, most of the time it was goddamn boring, and that's a shame. Waz007, I agree with you. Need good actor for Bond. Abraham Herrera, look what they did with the Velma show. Such a disaster. Another show that blames men for everything. And look, Abraham, Velma is hate speech. That's what it is. That movement who made that show talk about hate speech, right, from the right. And I'm not right. I don't believe in the political system at all. But they talk about the right and hate speech. Velma is the biggest hate speech I've ever seen in entertainment. It's insane. It's like it was written by a maniac. It's just so angry. They talk about straight white males being angry. Well, I think it was a woman who created this and wrote this. And boy, is that gal angry. The animator who laughs, sometimes skin color is necessary because some characters have specific backgrounds, like Bruce Wayne's ancestors being English migrants. Well, I mean, I think in the multiverse there is a black Batman, by the way. I think, listen, you can take Batman and, you know, traditionally people are going to say he should be white. But we live in times now that maybe the next Batman from James Gunn won't be white. I don't know. And I don't know what's right and what's wrong in that context. I do know you need to cast a really good actor. That's all you have to do. But we do live in divisive times. And there will be traditionalists who say he should never be, you know, a minority actor, played by a minority actor. What can I say? I mean, Bruce Wayne has always been white, but Scott Edwards, have you seen Wakanda Forever? No, but when it comes onto Disney Plus, I will do. Abraham Herrera, get my words out. Abraham Herrera, but how can they give those people money and a beloved IP just so they can destroy it? Imagine if they hand James Bond over to people like that. It's scary. Well, I think one day James Bond, I mean, James Bond's halfway there. I mean, it's owned by the streaming service, basically Amazon, who destroyed, you know, the Lord of the Rings thing. But you can never destroy Lord of the Rings, let's be honest, or Velma, or Scooby-Doo. Because ultimately, the stuff we grew up with, which is so superior to the shit they make today, isn't going anywhere. So they can never destroy those franchises. All they can do is destroy themselves, embarrass themselves. Velma embarrasses the people who come out with it. And these people who hate watch don't do themselves any favors, but they're making money. Scott Edwards, what do you think of Mary Elizabeth Winstead playing Hera Cinnabula in Ashoka? I'm not a big fan of Mary Elizabeth Winstead, but we'll see. I don't know if that was great casting. Was 007 did remember that Tim Burton was making Superman film, Nick Cage was Superman, but film never made yet. That film had lots of problems. There's actually a documentary by someone who's passed away now. It's called The Death of Superman Lives, or something like that. The story of the death of Superman Lives. It's a great documentary, though. Scott Edwards, she was a good huntress. I don't agree. I didn't like her as huntress at all. Maybe it was the way she was directed, written for, the way they had her dressed. But yeah, I wasn't overly impressed. I found her too bland within her performance. I think the Birds of Prey were betrayed in that film. They were like sidelined for Harley. Harley shouldn't even be part of a film called Birds of Prey. It was ridiculous. Scott Edwards, do you like Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka? I do. But I need to see more of her to get a proper, fully rounded kind of view of that character played by that actor. But I do like Rosario. I like Rosario a lot. She's done so much in her career. She's been a great star, a great actor. So I do like her, yes. The animator who laughs, people wouldn't talk about equality if a white actor got cast as black character. No, it doesn't work the other way around, because it's about, for people, I'm not interested in it, but it's about where, when I grew up, the first 20, 30 years, 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, entertainment was predominantly white. If you look at Friends, it was a predominantly white show, and lots of other things. And this is why people are desperate for representation now, because they're saying And what they're trying to do within the industry is kind of equal things out by replacing white men, replacing, white characters with black characters. So that's not equality, though. That's, that's about them trying to equal the wrongs of what's happened in the past. And you just create more problems because you are in a consumer industry and the consumer isn't liking some of this stuff. Scott Edwards, and she's only 43. Waz 007 did like Defended of the Earth cartoon. Never seen it. Waz 007 wants to see Defended of the Earth, the action film. Abraham Herrera, and to think that Gotham City Sirens was shelved in favour of Birds of Prey. Well, if Kathy Yan made that film, it would have been just as bad. Now, if David Ayer made that film, and we actually had the Ayer cut released, as it should have been, then maybe that would have been a different situation entirely. Scott Edwards, so is Reeves' universe still separate? Yes, it is at the moment, yeah. Waz 007, I think Daniel Craig would grate Mr. Freeze. I don't know. That's an interesting one. Interesting. He's no spring chicken, though, Daniel Craig. I mean, he must be approaching 60. Will he be as good as Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze? I'm joking. Scott Edwards, The Batman is an amazing film. It is. I really enjoyed The Batman, yeah. Very different way of doing Batman, but it works. Dramatically different. It's a very story-based film. It's not about the action. It's not about crash, bang, wallop. Waz 007, Daniel Craig, age 54. So he's 4 years older than me. Wow. Right, guys, I need to wrap this video up now. It's been a great chat. It's been brilliant talking to you all. And I will come back live as soon as this DC announcement is made. I'm here every single day in a pre-recorded DC Universe daily video. So check them out when they come on the live premiere. And you can watch it, of course, after that, any time you want. This has been Movies TV Mad. I am Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. Scott Edwards, will you watch Avengers Lang Dynasty in theatres? You mean the Kang Dynasty? Yep. I'm very excited for the Kang Dynasty because literally Kang is going to be stabbing themselves in the back and battling themselves. It's going to be an insane movie. And I think Kang was a great choice as the next villain by Kevin Feige. So until we see each other again, goodbye, au revoir. Thank you for the views. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. It's been great. It's been refreshing. It's been exciting. I can feel the vibe that we're ready now for these DC Universe announcements from James Gunn. And as soon as we see them, as soon as they come up, as soon as the news breaks, I'll be back to discuss it all. It's going to be a great year to be a DC fan. And this is just the beginning. Until I see you again, goodbye. Abraham Herrera, take care, Mick. You too, Abraham. Thank you for coming in. Much appreciated. Enjoyed talking to you. See you again soon.